Welcome back, family. Hope all is well. I am your host, Maya Ellen,
Peace, y'all. I'm Dre T.
and this is Fivefifths the podcast. Let's get into it. Huh? Oh,
You feel me? It's one, two, three, four, fifth. I just can't get it out of my head. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Man, how you doing?
I'm doing well. We got a lot of work to prep with as far as the farm. Um,
We gonna have to take them to the farm.
yeah, y'all
That'd be
gotta see.
cool.
Y'all gotta see. We got some.
Some work that y'all doing over there. Yeah, that'll be dope. Okay.
How about yourself?
How am I doing? How am I doing?
How is life living you?
Man, I genuinely feel like I'm living life. I feel like I've been doing things that really fill up my cup and give me more to give away. And now it's like all the things that I can give away energy wise, I want to like do that as often as possible and, just share as much love as possible. So I feel like my spirits has been high. I've been working like hard. Like I've been working not hard in the sense of like, doing like overdoing it, but more just like I used to be lazy, like I remember when I couldn't really depressed. It's like I remember when I couldn't do nothing. Like I remember when it was just like a thought in my head and I couldn't get myself, the energy
Yeah,
to do it.
can relate.
So now it's like, ooh, I'm doing stuff. Like I'm following through. I'm being
Right.
consistent and it feels good and I deserve it because, I deserve it. So yeah, that's how I'm doing.
That's dope. Out here getting free.
Getting free. Ooh, speaking of freedom, the concept of freedom, the creation of freedom, but also like the birth of freedom, right? Like, do you think that we were all naturally born free?
I mean, in my heart, yeah. When you look at when you born, and you know what I'm saying, you look at, depending on where you is in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to say that.
Yeah.
It's hard to be like, yeah, we naturally born free. Like you look at nature and you observe, you see the bird, they don't need no class to learn how to fly. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like they fly. When the lion is hungry, they hunt. You know what I'm saying? They don't
Yeah.
they don't eat on a full stomach. You know what I mean? They're not killing for sport. They just do what they naturally were born to do. We are the only species that have like some sort of like nobody was born with a book attached to their ass saying like
Right.
this is how you raise it. This is how you love it. This is how you
Yeah.
feel me. When they turn 15, they gonna fuck some shit up. When they 21, they'll change the world. No, you know what I'm saying. Like we the only species that for some reason need or appear to need some rule book to like say like this is what makes you a human.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what makes you human. This is what makes you American. We're all born with social security numbers, you know, to other individuals attached to our name if they're present. All right. Like we're born into a system that's already set up. But spirit wise, I think we're born free. I think we're born into a system as spirits under this game. That's how I look at it of like this is the assignment. And
Yeah.
some things are forced on you that you may not have had control over, but your being has to remain free. Otherwise, otherwise you kind of sold your soul. That's why I think to just go a little deeper because freedom is. So we were talking about earlier freedom from versus freedom to. Freedom from certain things. Some of those aren't really our choice. Like freedom from. We can keep our spirit. I feel like you can keep your spirit as if you're free from certain things. But some things were completely out of your control, you know? And I think that understanding of what is in your control, what's not in your control, makes the difference of how you act. Otherwise, it becomes internalized. Like if somebody could tell me that I'm not free, and me say I'm not free, I don't know freedom. How much power did I give away? Like how much did I forfeit when in reality I was created free? You know, I was born free. But they just told me though, technically, under their technicalities, I'm not free. I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I have a major problem with that. Even if you imprison me, even if you take away my rights, right, to be protected under your laws, even if you do the most horrific things to me, I still have to remember what I come from, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's kind of out of whack right now with a lot of our community.
For sure. I agree with you 1,000%. Which is why it seems so hard to, you know what I'm saying? Like just coming back to the mission and meaning behind Five Fifths, you feel me? Like somebody told us before we were even thought of, you know what I'm saying? Like you not a full human being.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You equivalent to an animal, you know what I mean?
Oh,
And they,
wow.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like they somebody tell us that long enough, like we start to believe it, you know? Like even with
Yeah.
some of like the mothers, you feel me, or parents before, right? They might know they giving birth to a natural born leader. But they also know what happened to, you know what I'm saying? They know from what they saw to a natural born leader when you feel me, we were stolen and said like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't living the way y'all used to live. Whoever is y'all leader, I'm about to make an example out of them in front of all of you. So that way, you feel
What
me?
they
Y'all
call the
have
breaking
kids,
of the
you know what I'm
buck.
saying? There we go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
it's
some Willie Lynch letters, y'all.
mm-hmm.
Look it up if you haven't already. Talking
Yeah.
about, oh, it's not. This isn't real. This is a made up.
Yeah.
These are made up letters. It's like, okay. Even if someone did break down the theory, is it true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Willie Lynch is still in business
Come on now.
today.
Come on now. So, no, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that the domestic, what's the word? To be domesticated, right? Like we talk about nature versus what this is, and even animals, right? Even a lot of animals today are not even born into nature. They're born into a system too. They are literally, you know, they got baby chicks that immediately go into cages and just grow up their whole life inside a cage to produce for other humans, you know? So like that process that people go through to be domesticated, what do you think it takes to unravel that? Because we talked about releasing and like the importance of knowing when to submit and when to rebel. What do you think is necessary then for us to undo that process that was done onto us?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Man, that's a good question. I'm gonna try and keep it like, you know what I'm saying, to a minimum, because I could talk all day about that. But
Right. And there's no one
there's
answer. You know what I mean? Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna have their own, depending on their perspective, they're gonna have their own approach of how they think we should undo it.
Right.
But
So like, in terms of like when you born, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain elders and things that may they may have known about the indigos, you know what I'm saying? When we were babies, we might not have been privileged enough to have that information, but it's already in our spirit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
to go back to what you're saying about like our spirits are free, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the most important thing, because even if you are born into a family of sleeping giants,
Yeah.
you know, your spirit will show you things that they talk about on the news, or you know what I'm saying, these science
Yeah.
classes, and You know what I'm saying? Like we just do it naturally, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like we can't explain it. We don't know how it
Yeah.
happens. You know what I mean? And maybe until later,
Yes.
and then they start talking about like, oh, you was born under this certain time, under these, and y'all,
Right.
like y'all supposed to, y'all actually here to shift the vibration. You know
Come
what I'm
on now.
saying?
That is the revolution to me. When if I heard it, if I hear it, that's what it sounds like. Is completely understanding that even after everything, you are still connected to the Most High. All of this shit can shift. Again, the frequency of how we do things and what level we operate on, like we're here for that. We're here to change that. That if we keep saying that it's going to take them to change in order for us to embody all of those things that we were born to have, that we deserve. Freedom, the basics, right? We'll be waiting forever. I'm not submitted to that. Not I.
Right.
It's not happening over here. So I feel like that is liberating.
Right.
That is so incredibly liberating for people to keep that intact. Like we always talk about keeping your heart intact. You know what I mean? But by any means necessary, you may have to take the long route. Yeah. We were talking earlier before we should have recorded the whole conversation, y'all. Talking earlier, but it was about how everybody's gonna have their own opinion on what you think you should do. But the spirit that you're connected to, the most high, right? That should be above all things, above all opinions or perspectives about your value, your worth. Yeah, it was in their laws that you were 3/5 of a human. It was in their law. You feel me? And they wanted to serve the law more than they wanted to preserve human life. So that's where it's like, okay, yeah, that was real. But if you believe that, now you sold your soul. Now you submitted to something not the Most High though. You submitted to something completely different. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
God made man in the image of God, and ever since then, men been trying to make God in the image of them.
Come on, man.
That's the way. That's like the spell. You know what I'm saying? That they want us under. Now, with that spirit, right? The Most High, you know what I'm saying? That all encompassing thing, being that just knows before we do. That's where we like. That's where we take our power back. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a thing of like taking it back. It's because nobody can take anything that belongs to you.
Right.
Nope. You feel me? Like even if you think somebody like stole a piece of property, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just a piece of property.
Yeah.
First of all,
Tangible thing on this earth.
the thing it's the thing that you put in energy for. You know what I'm saying? Like you worked for that, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? All right, I worked for this sound equipment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This could be gone tomorrow, but nobody can take from me the work that I put in to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this can go tomorrow, but they can't make another me. They can't make
Facts.
another you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the important thing about past lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start to learn, like, okay, I had the feeling, you know what I'm saying? The universe, cosmos is saying something, trying to download something.
Yeah.
But now that it's like, okay, now you can address things like past lifetimes. When it come to like freedom from and freedom to, like we gotta address that. Like there is a part of something in the past that has been passed down to us that our ancestors may not have been proud of. That we have, you feel me, like as a people, we may have like damaged our relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to apologize to each other. We need to be gentle. We need to, really like hold ourselves accountable and reconcile.
Yeah, I was just
Because
thinking
there is
of
a
that
point in
word.
time.
I was like reconciliation
Yeah.
with each other.
Yeah, because just like with the breaking of the buck, you feel me? Like
Yeah,
the mama that was so afraid that, you know what I'm saying, that had her child would be sacrificed or whatever because she knows in her heart that this is a natural born leader. So before that white man get a hold of my child,
yeah,
I'm gonna beat that out of him.
yeah,
So that way they know to, you know what I'm saying? Like we deserve an apology for that.
yeah,
You feel me? There's points and times where like we've sold each other out.
yeah,
We need to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Because if we just, you know what I mean? Like, I know black is beautiful and everything. Like we are better together,
absolutely.
but we can't just act like shit didn't go down. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
that
saying?
does more harm. That's like somebody abusing you and just returning like nothing happened. No sorries, no acknowledgement.
Yeah, yeah. That's like
You may not be sorry,
yeah,
but the acknowledgement for the cause and effect, what that had done, the damage it did, that we do have to reconcile, because yeah, a lot of damage has been done from all sides, and I think that is where the healing is. I definitely do. That's why I think it's so powerful for families to talk to each other, like to really talk to each other, like those things where it's not like, okay, for example, my pops, right? When I look at my story with my family, and I look at what I had to reconcile in order to grow, like what took me from operating here to having to operate here, were the little things that impact all of our lives. So, for example, like daddy issues, right? Or issues with your mother. Like, those are internalized and they are examples of how you show up in your friendships and relationships. And if you look at your friendships and relationships and you don't like what you see, or you don't like who you've shown up as, or you've done some things, or some things have happened to you repetitively, you have to look back and be honest about that to reconcile with what happened. If you don't, that inner child feels disrespected, just like how our spirits feel disrespected, spirits feel disconnected from our ancestors for what we haven't dealt with, you know?
Yeah.
So I had to go back and deal with that of like, okay, I have to, when I looked at my father and I said, what was it like for him at 6 years old? Imagine you're in his body, in his environment. What was that? Do you even know what it was? Because you got a lot of judgment for somebody you don't know. I had so much anger towards my dad for just not being the dad I needed, and he wasn't there, and all of these things. And I'm doing that to myself because it was very dramatic, because I didn't have context. And a lot of things that we've internalized that have caused so much pain and that caused us to do certain things, it's really us having an internal tantrum. Our inner child is like, you didn't do this for me, and you were like this, and you were this. And if you stay in that inner child's gonna run things, not you, not the grown up who wants to grow, who wants to evolve, So I had to be like, okay, what was his environment like? What was his circumstance? Because we're gonna have to do this with our ancestors. What was their environment like? Why did they do certain things? Can we find it in ourselves to forgive? Some things it may take your whole lifetime for you to actually let go of. Some things you can let go of if you just take time to have perspective on it. Of like, okay, I get it now. I get it. I understand, and I release now. Some things may take a little bit longer, but I think just starting changed everything for me. That's what I do know. I know that when I started forgiving my dad for not being the right dad, it was only because I seen what his father was like, what his environment was like. And I was like, you know what? You're human just like me.
Yeah.
As much grace as I can give you of what's already been given to me. That's it. So who am I to look at you and say you weren't good enough for me? Ego. Ego, y'all. Episode 1. From episode 1. Yeah.
That's deep. I commend you for for really like internalizing and doing that work. Because that's, some people call it shadow work. Some people call it,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, the spiritual. Yeah, but like
Yep.
that's really the work that
That's
one needs to do. You
everybody
know.
got to do the shadow work. I think as a community, we got to do that shadow work for sure. That inner child healing. Yeah. All of that. It's hard work. So don't get into it thinking that you're not going to be faced with some truth. You're going to be faced with some truth that you do not want to be faced with. But being on the other side of that is powerful. Being on the other side of that is I'm in my grown woman. I'm in my divine feminine.
Yeah.
Because I'm healing actively, and with being honest with where I've perpetrated things on myself, just based on not doing the work. So now we in the work. We doing the work, y'all.
And that's a part of responsibility, freedom. That's a part of
Yeah.
freedom.
Yeah.
Like being responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like some people look at freedom like just being able to do whatever the hell you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's recklessness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and just not caring, not having an afterthought, not considering
Outcomes,
anything other than, you know what I'm saying, self. But like responsibility is freedom, because when we tell ourselves, I need to heal, like that's one thing to just say it, right? Just like what you're saying, like in that moment of, we have our moments of like going through the norm, or maybe it may seem like, a little stagnancy. The thought may come to mind, but we may not do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But once it's happening, like we put it into action. That's when you get to look at, the work, like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been over a year and I haven't had to work for anybody, and I'm like, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I did what I said I was gonna. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did what I said I was gonna do, and it's working. You know, and doors are still are even opening even more. But I have to be responsible. I gotta. It's even more than like working for somebody else. You working more, than you would at a position that you can clock in and clock out of. It's responsibility for sure.
Man. And like that freedom, right? So I didn't even conceptualize the idea of not having a boss until I was in college, I feel like. And really, it inspired me because I used to be on a podcast before with FYB, which is Fire Your Boss. Shout out to the team. Those are my guys.
Shout out FYB. I'll be tuning in.
Wise Word Wednesdays. Yeah. Hey.
It's my one of my boys is a part of that collective.
Dope.
Shout out Derek Taylor.
Hey, KDT.
Go back many moons.
Yeah. Oh, that's fire. Wow, small world. So yes, Fire Your Boss. That's what it is. The title, and the conversations we would have about like, doing things how we want to do them on our own terms, and like taking those temporary sacrifices to ultimately no longer have a boss, to no longer have to be under someone else's jurisdiction, taking full accountability for our life. Like, what would that look like? So it started like in being in those conversations and like doing it, working towards that, like seriously, not just in theory, like, nah, like seriously, how can we become more free every day based on our choices? And, I ain't perfect, but I've kept that spirit alive, even in times where I fail myself or I don't follow through. It's like, I still got to keep that spirit intact, because ultimately we're going to be looking back on all of this and being like, damn, I know it. I feel it. There's so much greatness that's on the way for everybody. For everybody who's doing the work. With the seeds that you sow and the seeds that you plant, they will harvest. Some will turn out the way that you plan. Some will turn out way greater than you ever imagined. Some won't make it.
Some shoot, the ones you thought wouldn't make it, you know what I'm saying? You thought it was like, I'm watering it. It ain't growing. And then you turn around, you know what I'm saying? You might just forget about it, start watering the rest of them, and then that one be the one that flourish.
Go crazy.
Real, yeah.
Yeah. So just do the work. Just do the work. Last episode we talked about like the truth, right? And the importance of truth. And we talked about all this accountability, what freedom is, what it could be, how we can achieve it, how we can embody it. Really, is what it is, because it's there for everybody. But the things that we have to undo and get rid of in order to move into that direction, that could be more intimidating than people want to admit. So Dr. Leary was the woman who coined the term post-traumatic slave syndrome. Okay, and it's pretty much this theory that says that there is leftover residue from enslaved African people. Us being descendants of those enslaved African people, we have symptoms from what has happened. Now, some people, argue against this theory. Some, of course, extend their research even further to go deeper into it. But that's what it's looking like so far. That we know scientifically stress is passed down. It can be passed down and it can be internalized through the body, right? Our genes do certain things. And even just the science behind those type of things aren't often conversations we have on a regular. I like to study them because I'm like, all of it is tied in. So I want to know about what's going on in the science world. What are they learning about our brains and how we do things and human behavior? But if stress is passed down, okay, say we accept that part. What does that mean for the people who are causing the stress? People who are also perpetrating the violence? What does that mean for them? What kind of syndrome is that? If it, because so far from what I've observed, that research hasn't really existed yet of that side of the coin. Okay, if we have some issues that were passed down to us because from being enslaved, what does it mean if your generations, your people were used to lynching black folks, used to dehumanizing indigenous people of the planet, used to doing that? It was just your norm. What does that mean for them?
Damn. All right. So first of all, it's some great questions. I'm gonna let the audience know. Like I'm gonna give my, you feel me, my take on it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not the end all be all.
Right.
It,
Do your own research. That's gonna be the phrase every episode. Do your own research.
Yeah.
Bring it to the table. This is a conversation.
For sure. Yeah, y'all writing it. You feel me?
Yeah.
This question is for you too, right? I'm saying write your
Yeah.
answers in the comments and all that good
So
stuff.
that's the question that came up for me of like, okay,
Yeah.
this is fairly new research as well, right? So what's the other side of that? And who's asking those questions in those rooms,
All right, so my take on it is that the post traumatic slave disorder, like PTSD, for us as a people, it's ongoing. Like there's no post. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might have said slavery is over, but it got remixed. You know what I'm saying? We deal with it today.
Yeah.
It's a war zone. I'm like on the real, like every hood in Sacramento is split in two, right? We're doing violence to one another. And then on the flip side, you look at like the community organizers and churches and things of that nature, they split.
Yeah.
Like they don't, you feel me? They damn near know better, you feel me? They just as bad as how the streets is as far as like the spell of not trusting each other. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting. That's interesting that you said that, because damn. We want to point our finger at, the drug dealers, the, gang members, the whoever that we morally don't agree with. But those same characteristics are in everybody in some capacity. And like you said, it manifests. People who are claiming to be high and mighty don't also trust. They don't trust. They don't know what it's like to be loyal. They don't know what it's like to actually have integrity. You know, those things that are also important in gang culture. So what, like, that accountability piece from earlier, like, that has to happen. Because then we could see that we could have a clear view of the bullshit.
Yeah.
Call it out.
Everybody has to understand, like, whether you're in the streets or whether you're in the community, there's a power that exists that relies on our demise, that relies on the situation that we're in.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a community organizer, if you feel me, you work in juvenile hall, like, our job, the people's job is to put them out of one. Like, I should not have to return to a juvenile hall to mentor some youth ever again. I don't ever want to do that again. And I tell them that. You know what I'm saying? Like, while y'all learn how to make music up in here, I need y'all to make sure that you see these cats right here
Yeah.
don't have a job.
Yeah.
They could do something else. You know what I'm saying? I could be in the studio with you elsewhere. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody in the community, as far as like a community organizer or leader and stuff like that, will never say, like, I need you to put me out of a job because I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here at a violence prevention rally. I don't want to be the spokesperson for the trauma of our community.
Right.
But you look at those individuals, those are the ones who are getting their pockets padded. And it's the same thing with the streets, right? As long as you rapping and making music about, you feel me, destruction of yourself and your people, I'm gonna throw you that bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Go vegan, change your life, change your kids' lives. Maybe one or two of your homies, but other than that, I need you to I need you to do my job better because you do it better than me.
Right.
Let me just keep it real with you. Ever since
Right.
you feel me, taught you how to sell drugs to your community and I gave you the guns to, you feel me?
Yeah.
I don't need to put this white hood on anymore.
Right. You do the dirty work.
And there are, within both of those, like within the streets and within the community, there are still those people that are surviving amongst these lepers and lames and you know what I'm saying? Like, there is still that single parent, that single mama that's in Oak Park, that's in Valley High, that's just doing her damnedest to take care of her children.
Yeah.
And that's honorable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's amongst prostitution. You feel me? The infant mortality rate is crazy high. You know what I'm saying? But she's doing everything that she can to take care of her children. There is, you know what I'm saying? There are people in the community that are doing the right thing when no one's looking. That are, you feel me? They spending thousands of dollars to make sure families got turkeys. And they're not on Instagram like, hey, look at me doing, you know what I'm saying? What y'all doing? No, it's about serving the people. There are still those folks that are within the community,
Right.
that are doing the right thing.
They exist, y'all.
Yeah, and we just got to come together. We have to, those folks that are doing the right thing when no one's looking in the community. We got to get them. We got to get them folks that's out. You feel me? Trying to get their pockets padded, right? Let's get them out the way. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to expose you. I'm not about to waste my energy. You feel me? Trying to convince people that you not right. You know what I mean? Just get out my way because you over here trying to. This is somebody that's pure.
Right.
That don't know no better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That really genuinely needs help.
Yeah.
And to some, that's an opportunity. To some, that's their next bag.
Right.
They're waiting on their.
Oh, I can't wait for the episode where we talk about money because how that has plagued our minds, oh, in our behavior. I think that's the root. I think that's a root we have to pull up quickly, as soon as possible. But it's gonna take, I think, when we talk about, sure, we could talk about it now. Freedom from versus freedom to, the freedom to have financial security and stability. People say financial freedom. Freedom from is literally you don't want somebody to tell you you can't do something because you don't have the finances to do it. Whether that be just a surgery, or that you want to travel to Bali, whatever it is, or you wanted to build that school, whatever it is you wanted to do, your spirit was calling you to do. Would money be a factor in that? Like, would you have to not build that school now because you don't have the finances, or would you not go on that vacation because you don't have the finance? Whatever it is, it's like our people have to change our relationship with money, because it becomes where now you're using the trauma to patch your pockets, but that is also just a survival mechanism. Why do you think that you need that much money over people when we're all trying to eat? If you're in survival mode and you've been hungry all your life, yeah, you will do some wild shit like that. You will not feed your tribe. You'll leave and you'll have it all to yourself. But like you said, it's getting those people out the way so they're no longer preventing us from doing the work that we need to do, but also demonstration. You can have financial stability. We can actually all eat pretty well if we keep our spirit intact and we work together. It doesn't have to be like that. That's where it's like, it don't have to be like that. You're just one. You're continuing to isolate yourself from the real community. Mm-hmm. By thinking you're winning, you're thinking you're doing something and you're winning, but you're not winning, and your spirit's still deprived, because that's why you still take so much. It's like people have to get their car pulled spiritually to know that even if you take all the money in the world, we still have to answer to the same things when it's all said and done.
Right.
So I can't even worry about you.
Especially now, like y'all really think that like that paper, you know what I'm saying? That whatever, you feel me, is something.
It's nothing.
Just know the gut, like tomorrow, 20 minutes from now, like any moment, you feel me? Like they could say that currency ain't worth shit. And whatever you did to make, I mean, it's happening right now. Yeah. You feel me? And whatever you did to get that so-called money, people gonna remember that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, if you don't have, like you said, your heart not intact, if you're not doing right by others.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you got 100 bands in your pocket. Mm-hmm. But what, you know what I'm saying? You traumatize your community to get that. You stepped on others. You know what I'm saying? To get you in that place of isolation. You in your lonely in that big mansion. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Mm-hmm. All that's no longer. You know what I'm saying? Your money's no longer accepted here. Mm-hmm. Now what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like that. You're right. It's not the currency. It's really like.
It's energy.
Yes.
That's really what it is.
Yeah. Before we pay bills, can we pay attention?
Okay.
Can we pay respect? There's so much that we could pay with. You feel me? Before we have to dig in our pockets. Mm-hmm. Like.
And money's changing too. It's actually, with blockchain technology coming into the picture, and then by 2025, 23, planning on having a mass adoption of cryptocurrency. It's on the way. And the possibilities that has for African people is astronomical. That's why I'm so interested in it, because like we have to get free. We have to get free from this idea that there's not enough. We have to.
There's always been
enough, but we haven't seen it yet. We've always been deprived in some capacity. So we have to actually know what it's like to not be hungry, to not have to be in survival mode from the basics, Just the basics. Like, take care of, I don't have to choose gas over groceries. You know, like that shouldn't be a thing people in 2022 have to consider. So when we can financially elevate our communities, I truly believe people will start to see how foolish it is to operate in selfishness when they continue to see that even money, with all the money in the world, you still have the same enemy. It didn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the celebrities in our community see that as well. So, money ultimately is that energy tool that will either cause you to cause mass destruction on this planet or cause mass healing too. It can. I think it can. So, yeah, I'm ready for the next episode. We get deeper into okay, cause yes, powerful things are on the way, but we got to keep our heart intact and continue to organize our minds, cause we have great, incredible, genius ass minds in our communities that need to put their ego aside and work together, cause that's what this is about. So when we can start doing that and actually strategizing and planning around that, how to get our all collective bag in order, so all our families are safe and secure.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna see we're gonna see a different kind of spirit, because you're not operating out of selfishness. Why would you? You have everything you need.
Yeah. And why be selfish? You feel me? Like, if you feel me, you gonna take care of yourself, center yourself. If anything,
Yeah.
you know, don't be. Ain't no issue about this shit. You feel me? Like anything, it's like selfishness is like very much like Pac said, right? Gimme, 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 gimme. Push, 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 push. Stomp, stomp, stomp.
Yeah.
When you look at all this shit that makes one selfish that they getting, it's like, oh, they got that. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this. Mm. Oh, they got that too. Okay, let me get this now.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't got this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look at me.
The only one. Look at me.
And
I'm
my
the
new
only
toy.
one with this. A little baby said, what did he say? He wanted to buy a yacht just to say that he got it, product of his environment. Like, that was what the university said.
It.
And I was like, that is simple, but that is exactly what it is. Just to say that you got it when it's not necessary. That's ego, but also it's still wanting approval from people who, what you need their approval for. You were already validated when you were born.
Right. Like, you don't fuck with water. You know what I'm saying? You can barely swim.
Now no yacht,
You
little
know what I'm
baby.
saying? Come on,
Little baby,
man.
you do not want a yacht. That's funny. But yes, y'all, that's it for this episode. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Tap in. Oh, neighbor news.
Neighbor news.
Let's get into it. We were just at the Sankofa market.
That's right.
Yes. And so it's going to be a combination of neighbor news and community outreach, yeah?
Indeed.
We were at the Sankofa market. Sankofa market happens once a month, right? On
every second Sunday.
Second Sunday. Mm-hmm. In Oak Park. It's on a farm.
Yeah, Green Tech Farms.
Yep. And
it's right behind the St. Hope Elementary School or Middle School off Martin Luther King. Yeah, Green Tech. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Follow Sankofa Market on Instagram. Multiple vendors will come out. Different farmers from the area as well. People who make homemade products and all different types of things. Yeah. That's where I go to re-up on, pretty much everything. Soaps and herbs and vegetables and all kinds of amazing things.
Yeah. This is the only black farmers market in SAC. Like, we have the African marketplace. Shout out to them. But as far as what's catered to, food and
the type of products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Health and wellness. That's what Sankofa Market is all about. So, y'all make sure y'all tap in, follow them. They're going to be the next, I think, up until September, because Sankofa Market goes like through the seasons. You know what I'm saying? Like when it get rainy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But free massage therapy.
Yes.
Ear
sound
seating.
therapy.
Come on.
Yoga.
Yoga. Wow. man, they had fresh produce,
Right.
some greens, plums, soaps.
Music. There was a whole DJ. So you could literally just come up, pull up, grab you something and just chill and enjoy the space, enjoy the community, really.
Yeah. And while that was happening, while Sankofa Market was going on, we also had a garden day, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
shout out Savo as the lead for, Asada Gardens. It's a beautiful addition. So we had added what do we add? We added some more flowers around the garden, along with some potatoes to keep keep the critters away from
Yeah.
all the goodness. You know what I'm saying? Because we
Yeah.
got the squash and the corn and everything.
Yeah.
We was able to harvest a little bit more too.
Okay.
We got some jalapenos,
Hey.
and there's these flowers, right?
Uh-huh.
That that are edible.
Okay.
They're red, and I can't remember
Wow.
what's the name of it, but it's good. It got like
Is the one that's near the corn?
yeah.
Okay, I seen it.
Yeah, it's like it got
Wow.
like a spice to it. It tastes like a spicy Fuji apple.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it.
I'm about
Yeah.
to go see about that then. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, just expanding the garden, added some more soil and mulch and planted some seeds. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Cool, cool, cool. And that was pretty much it, right, for this weekend. And what's coming up on this coming up Sunday?
This coming up Sunday, we got. That's a good question. You might have to answer that for me because I'm having like a brain overload.
Oh, yeah, Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. Good Lord. Okay. See, so many
And
events.
Father's
So many
Day.
events.
Yeah, Father's Day. That's all I was saying. Over at the farm, you guys are doing the barbecue, right? Okay.
And we
Tell
just
us about
announced
that.
it this morning that it's free. Y'all come through, get you
What?
something to eat. You can pay whatever you want, tip the chef.
Oh,
You know what
wow.
I'm saying? Come by about. We gonna
Yeah.
spin in some music. We got some cigar. We got a cigar roller for for all the poppers.
That's fire.
Yeah, so pull up to the State Farms. Really anytime. You know what I'm saying? There's always something going on. We could be happy to give you a tour.
And
even if it ain't
is
nothing
it
going
fathers and their family, or like what is it?
Yeah, fathers and
yeah.
families.
Okay.
Juneteenth. Little celebration.
Whole vibe.
Yeah.
That's exciting. All right, y'all.
And also tap in for the if anybody wants to volunteer and be a part of that program, you know what I'm saying? We'll send the volunteer orientation
Forms.
invitations.
Yep.
But we also have like a Google Doc you can, sign up on.
Let's get it. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. And we'll talk real soon. Peace.
Fivefifths.
Hey.
Peace.